So I know we don't really talk a whole lot about movies on here unless I come across one that I really want to share. And I have one for you. It's called Rescue. And the synopsis of this movie is that after the accidental death of Jake's oldest daughter and wife, Jake's only daughter, Leah, has been abducted by human traffickers and is being sold to the cartel. Jake's experience in martial arts sets out with little clues in hand and a Kali stick in the other. If you want to check out the trailer, you can do that at rescue.movie. That's rescue.movie. It's also the winner of the Best Feature Film at the Global Film Festival Awards in LA that took place this year in 2022, and it has a 9 out of 10 rating on IMDb. You can check out their Facebook fan page or again at rescue.movie for trailers and where you can actually watch the movie. Just do yourself a favor and see why this movie, Rescue, won the Best Feature Film Award. Head to rescue.movie today.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me. Is going to WrestleMania. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
And it is Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, and that means only one thing. It's time for your week in review here on the WWE Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, and you can follow us anywhere podcasts are available. And the best way to support us, Patreon. For $1, it gets you in the door for ad-free, or, of course, you can give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. That does help us out. I may do a special episode of reviewing the reviews of my podcast. Some good and some bad. I think that'll be a bit entertaining. We also have TikTok at the WWE Podcast as well, if you want to follow us there. I'm going to try to be more consistent with some video. Video is something I've been trying to get into. And yes, I have a video podcast I do, but it's exclusive to the DuPont Network, DUPONT. So if you want to sign up for that, it's free, DuPontNow.com. But just for like short snippets, because their show I do is 45 minutes long and it's a hell of a monster to compress and make that video. But I'd rather do like 5-minute or less videos on just reactions and make it a high quality video and add things in that are fun. And that's my goal, like maybe an early New Year's resolution for 2023. But all right, let's dive into this week in WWE as things were interesting this week. And I think it was a bit of a lack of star power, which is fine. We don't always need the usual suspects there to carry us through a show. I think building new stars is key to any promotion, really the key to any form of entertainment. But let me start with Logan Paul, because I think WWE and Logan Paul has to know that trying to get him cheered, especially outside of Saudi Arabia, is a very difficult task. And he was saved for the main event of SmackDown. And it wasn't overwhelming boos like a Dominic Mysterio heat type of boo. It was more of just a rejection of his position on the card, because he won us over. I think he won most fans over when he had that awesome performance against The Miz. Really, both matches that he had in WWE, he has shown that he's taking this seriously, and that's awesome. And I commend him for that. And really, but should I be commending for expecting the basics? No, but he isn't just this guy that's walking in and half-assing it. Now, does he need some work on his promos and stuff? Yeah, but that can come with time. He has shown, at least through the first 2 matches, that he is not going to just wink and nod and collect a paycheck, that he's going to truly bust his ass, and he has. Good for him. But therein lies the exact problem. He is slated to main event the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia with Roman Reigns for a championship he shouldn't even be mentioning the words of. He shouldn't even be having the Universal Undisputed Championship in his mouth, much less in this match. Now, there is reasons why this is happening. We all know it's for money. For WWE collecting a massive paycheck, and they felt that putting Logan Paul in there would create more of a buzz, get the most eyeballs on the product in Saudi Arabia, and I don't fault them for that. I really don't fault the WWE. They're a for-profit organization trying to make money. I totally understand. And after this event, Logan Paul is going to go back to doing whatever he's doing, right? Probably still doing his podcast, probably still training in the Performance Center, and continuing to hone his craft. So if you look at it through the lens of WWE trying to maximize what they can get out of Saudi Arabia, and that they felt that the Saudi Arabian audience would be most intrigued by a social media star who has 20 plus million followers on YouTube, then, more power to them. They have to do what they have to do to run their business and make the most money that they can. They're beholden to not just themselves, but also shareholders and stockholders that are expecting dividends, So I totally understand. At the same time, when you remove that aspect as just kind of a casual fan watching the product, you're thinking, what the hell is this? This dude has had 2 matches in the company, and all of a sudden he's main eventing an event in Saudi Arabia against their top star for the championship. And it can send you into a spiral of anger, but the WWE and Logan Paul have to know, they do know, that Logan Paul isn't exactly going to be a hometown hero. Now, WWE this week tried to put him back in his home state and figured they got the best chance of him not getting booed in his home state. Didn't work so well. Now, if they put him in somewhere else, who knows? I mean, if they didn't reintroduce him in this story here, maybe it would have got a more negative reaction if it wasn't in Ohio, whatever. It wasn't a great reaction for somebody that's in their home state. And he's a very polarizing figure, which kind of plays great into being a pro wrestler. If people have an opinion about you, if they have an opinion and it's strong or negative, if it's strongly negative or positive, that's what you're looking for. So I think he'll actually have a successful career if he actually dedicates himself full time to this. But this past week, we're getting there. So he comes out, he gets booed, and he gets assaulted by Jey Uso from behind, defying the orders of Roman Reigns, who made it clear to Sami, who relayed it to Jey and Jimmy, that they can't put their hands on Logan Paul. And Logan Paul gets beat up for a little bit, and then eventually, after Sami Zayn restrains Jey, Logan Paul recovers and lands a hell of a punch to knock out Jey Uso, which is the narrative that they're pushing for this match, and that's fine. I think it's as good of a story that you can have given the 2 stars that are in it. It's not such a bad message to send, a narrative. I feel like that word is really overused. So I'm trying to find a synonym for narrative, story, I guess. That even though he's outmatched and outgunned, that all it takes is one lucky shot, one lucky punch. I like that. I really do. I think it's the smartest, safest route. Like saying basically that, yeah, we know Logan Paul isn't on the level of Roman Reigns, but you know what? All he has to do is land that one lucky shot. And the word lucky in and of itself speaks to their admission that Logan Paul isn't exactly a equal matchup with star power anyway to Roman. So that's how I kind of view that. And that's why they're doing the best they can. Now, all we have to do, guys, if you don't like this matchup, and I don't either, but at the same time, from a business angle, as I spoke to a few minutes ago, I understand it. We just got to get through the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, this will be all over if you're not a Logan Paul fan, because like I said, there is a negative chance. If there was such thing as negative, that's how much of a chance Logan Paul has. They'll try to sell you that he could get that one lucky shot, and you know what I think is going to happen? I think Logan Paul will actually land that lucky shot on Roman with no referee there, which I'm a bit, I hope they don't do that, because that would prove that, Logan Paul would have won had a referee been there, and it looks like Roman needed the help, but we'll see how they play it out in the actual execution of the match in 13 days. So I'm sure Logan will land that lucky punch, but will be unlucky in the fact that the referee's down or whatever. So the good thing is I'm expecting this to be an actually decent match because Logan Paul has proven that he can put on a good match. He's working with Shawn Michaels, which is supposed to get all of the fans excited about it or something. And I think that this is undoubtedly going to be a match that some of us come away going, wow, that's way better than I expected. But for any of us paying attention over the last couple of times he's actually had an in-ring match, we're going to look at this and go, yeah, it's kind of what I expected. Solid match, and Roman Reigns retains. That's it, which is fine. And we can move on. Back to the real world, right? This feels like kind of like we're going into a dream sequence. We're going into REM sleep. In the next 13 days, we're going into REM sleep. We'll pop out of it and we'll go back to reality when they get back to Monday Night Raw on November 7th. I don't know where it's emanating from, but November 7th is when we can get back to reality, okay? We can start looking towards Survivor Series, the War Games at Survivor Series, and then we can move on from there. So anyway, this was a good segment. I thought as good as it could have been. Logan Paul saying all the dummies out there, right? Meaning all his haters, whatever. He's going to be a great heel when they actually push it, by the way. And they make it overtly obvious that they are trying to make him heel. It's going to be a lot of fun because I think he oozes heel and he tries to has to hide it like Ronda. We'll get to that next, but I think that right now it was as good of a segment as possible because not only do you have Logan Paul showing that he can land a lucky punch, but also you have Jey Uso defying the orders of Roman, and you have Sammy who told Jey not to do what he did, so he's trying to control Jey. But since Roman put Sammy in charge of Jey, Sammy didn't do his job, and Jey defied the orders of Roman. So it creates some fun drama for Roman Reigns when he returns next week to see how he handles the situation. What happened? How does he deal? Who does he scold? That's going to be a fun little side story of what's going on here. And I'm sure Logan Paul will be there next week too, as he should be. And then we'll go on from there. But all right, let's also I want to talk about Ronda Rousey, who didn't come to the ring, but rather cut a backstage promo. Officially turning heel. Can I say that? I feel like I've said that before, and I was burned. This time I think we can say with some kind of confidence that this was a Ronda Rousey heel turn. Why? Because she went after the crowd. She blamed us. She gave everything to us and we just turned on her. Fine. It's heel 101. It's not exactly groundbreaking or deep or dynamic or any of that. It's just kind of heel blames crowd. So therefore, we blame people who hate us, who blame us, right? It's simple psychology. I'll roll with it. I don't care how it happens. It happened, okay? And Ronda was supposed to do an open challenge. She'll do an open challenge next week because she says she wants to get the hell out of Ohio. Now Ronda can let loose. This is the Ronda I've been waiting for. I'm surprised it didn't come at a bigger moment. It was just kind of, if you had told me that the official turn of Ronda Rousey was going to come in a backstage interview without any kind of build up to or match being involved with the turn, I wouldn't have believed you. You would imagine that a Ronda Rousey heel turn would come with more fanfare. That it'd be much more eventful. It'd be a moment. It's just kind of ho-hum backstage interview. And again, that's slightly disappointing, but we got there. And that's all I care about because this to me is the setup for a Becky Lynch return. And when she returns, yeah, she's on Raw. But guess what they're going to do? They'll probably announce a massive trade has been made in the women's division. And Becky Lynch is going to Raw. Becky Lynch is going to SmackDown. Charlotte goes to Raw. That's what's going to happen because Charlotte doesn't belong on SmackDown. I think she will get a nice refresh on Raw. Plus, she gets to work with Bianca. Okay? Bianca and Charlotte, who've had their good matches in the past, can continue that. And it's been long enough for Charlotte and Bianca. It'd feel somewhat fresh. Or she can work with the other women and build her way up to Bianca. So I think that's what's going to happen. that's really what I think is going to happen. Now, on SmackDown, whenever this trade happens, right? Whenever it happens, I would imagine that it's maybe a little bit closer to Survivor Series or beyond Survivor Series, because when Becky and Ronda run into each other, it's got to be massive. And right now we are, it's October, November, December, January, February, March, April. We're like 5 months and change. Almost 5. We're closer to 5 months and 6. Say 5 months away from WrestleMania. That's a long time to build stuff. So perhaps they actually stay out of each other's way until the Rumble. I wouldn't hate that. I think that'd be fun. Becky Ronda has to be a WrestleMania one-on-one match. Has to be locked in, loaded. Right now, it's not even a question what the SmackDown Championship match is for WrestleMania 39. It is, it's like completely set in stone. If it's not, and they put a third person in there, I will lose my mind. So that's what they're building to. But Ronda officially turning heel is a great thing. Now, Liv Morgan, on the other hand, she had a match with Sonya Deville, and Liv Morgan has been more unhinged, more violent, more reprehensible, but not in a heel way. So people are looking at this and saying, oh, that's a heel turn too. I don't think so. I think WWE and Liv, maybe herself, identified what the possible cause of people booing her was. Because people started to turn on her and cheer for Ronda. So they're trying to flip that now. And people booing Ronda, I think, will come pretty quickly. And with Liv, people started to turn on her because they saw this kind of doe-eyed, happy-go-lucky, smiling Liv. Well, now we're getting the smiling Liv that has an edge. Now we're getting the smiling Liv Morgan that you can sink your teeth into, and you're seeing a different version of, and I like it. They have added the one piece that I think fans, whether they were aware of it or not, disliked about Liv or thought something was missing from Liv, and adding that edge, that violent part to her repertoire, and having her go against Sonya Deville, who is super unlikable on every level, professional, personal, all of it for me. I think that is a great move. You have her throw 15 chairs in the ring and then do a superplex onto the chairs with having Liv smiling. So the smile that we saw at Extreme Rules carried over, and that's cool. Just that little thing of her smiling as she was fading to a Ronda Rousey submission held water. It had a purpose. I like that. We're now seeing Liv, when she inflicts pain on herself, smiles about it. And that's a different Liv. So I like this. I think fans are going to gravitate towards a much more just physical, edgy Liv Morgan than they have in the past. I mean, we've seen enough of the Babysitter's Club version of Liv. You know, it's time for Liv to really live her career here, pun intended. So, hey, when it comes to Ronda, though, she'll probably maybe even go through Shayna Baszler. That match has to happen at some point. I mean, we've all been waiting for Shayna Baszler. So before Becky and Ronda lock horns and build their program for a couple of months, you'd imagine that maybe Charlotte does return to Raw and Becky returns to, Becky returns to Raw and Charlotte returns to SmackDown if they come back in time, and then they do announce a massive trade. The problem is I don't know what the returns are for both women. I mean, I don't know who's closer. I'd imagine Charlotte. She's not injured. She just took time off, but we'll see. Rumors of Andrade coming back to WWE. We'll see about that. But Ronda Rousey has some people to work with, some women to work with over there on SmackDown for the time being to keep herself busy. And then eventually, yes, Becky Lynch and Ronda. 39, LA. It's happening. So, all right, let's take a quick break for today's sponsor of the show, and then we'll come back, and we're going to talk about Bray Wyatt, his message, that masked figure that continues to say things that I don't understand, and so much more right after this.
So I know we don't really talk a whole lot about movies on here unless I come across one that I really want to share, and I have one for you. It's called Rescue. And the synopsis of this movie is that after the accidental death of Jake's oldest daughter and wife, Jake's only daughter, Leah, has been abducted by human traffickers and is being sold to the cartel. Jake's experience in martial arts sets out with little clues in hand and a Kali stick in the other. If you want to check out the trailer, you can do that at rescue.movie. That's rescue.movie. It's also the winner of the Best Feature Film at the Global Film Festival Awards in LA that took place this year in 2022. And it has a 9 out of 10 rating on IMDb. You can check out their Facebook fan page or again at rescue.movie for trailers and where you can actually watch the movie. Just do yourself a favor and see why this movie, Rescue, won the Best Feature Film Award. Head to rescue.movie today.
Welcome back to the WWE Podcast. Let's get back to more great wrestling audio.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Let's talk a little bit about Bray Wyatt. He had a statement that I try to dissect, and Bray is a deep human being. The creative on this, I think, is deeper than we all know. I have a feeling that this is multi-layered, multi-month, maybe multi-year. I mean, I'm not kidding. I really believe that there is a lot going into whatever this is, whoever this is. And yes, we've heard about the Wyatt Six. We've heard about the potential of Bo Dallas joining, which would make a lot of sense, or opposing Bray. Yeah, we've heard of Liv Morgan. I've heard of, the fact that she's turned a little darker and a little bit more sinister is the effect of Bray, and Bray's going to bring her into the fold. We don't know yet. We have no idea. But let me read to you exactly what happened here, and just in case that you are not aware of it, and I'm sure you are if you're listening to this, but so he spoke into the camera, but who he was actually talking to remains a mystery. Was it the fans he addressed a week ago, or the man in the mask that interrupted him? This is true because some of the content that he said is, you guys pulled me up. I wanted you to leave me alone, but you didn't. You took the dagger out of me. Is he talking to us? Or is he talking to somebody else or other people that helped bring him up? So this was just super intriguing stuff. And I don't know. Here's some of the quotes, just so you guys know. I confess that I have problems. I know I have problems. I've always had problems. It's not hard for people to see. I needed you. I needed all of you. You removed the spears from my ribs and pulled me up. I'm thankful for that because now I can see. I know who you are. I know what you want. I know along the way I will do horrible, horrible things, but I will not be sorry for them. I'm just a servant now. I go where the circle takes me. I mean, is that not enough to sit and do deep dive research on for the next 6 months? I mean, my head hurts just thinking about the possibilities of that. I don't have the brain capacity to do this, so maybe some of you out there can. But a lot of this is, who is he talking to? That's one of the high-level questions. And the mask keeps popping up too, by the way. So that is also interesting. I don't know if the mask is Bray Wyatt's alter ego or if it is Bo Dallas. We don't know. But apparently there was a QR code that also popped up. And if you scan the QR code, it led to Bray Wyatt's psychological report or something. I didn't do it. This is what I've heard. So I hope it's not a Mick Foley situation. I really do. I really hope it's other people involved because Bray Wyatt's a big enough star where if you put a group together, I think it would help other men's careers or other women's careers, depending on who's involved. And that's really what this business is about, is building the next generation of stars all the time. It's just this constant cycle, but maybe it is him by himself. I mean, we don't know yet. This is going to be a deep story. So buckle in. Buckle in for a lot of quotes like, along the way, I will do horrible, horrible things, but I'm not going to be sorry for them. I'm just a servant now. I go where the circle takes me. Get ready for a lot of that stuff. I want to say mumbo jumbo, but I'm not trying to diminish it. It's just it's so deep that I'll leave that to people that actually have the time and energy to dive through that. I don't, but it's intriguing. And Bray is in a very interesting place right now. A very good place, not a bad place. This is just, he's so much fun to listen to, even if you have no idea what the hell he's saying. All right. Let's see. Okay. The monster of all monsters and the Nigerian giant go face to face. Braun Strowman and Omos. I think we had a definitive pronunciation of his name, by the way. I think we've landed on Omos. Why it's spelled Omos instead of O-M-A-S, it's O-M-O-S. I've landed on, and apparently WWE has landed on Omos. Sounds great. But Braun Strowman and Omos go face to face. And yeah, Braun Strowman is still not the greatest on the mic, but he did what he could do. And he even admitted that, he said, you guys know I'm not much of a talker. I'm more of a fighter. Yeah, because your promos are just not good, Braun. But that's fine, because he doesn't need to have them be A+ when he's that size and he's good as he is in the ring. So MVP came out, and eventually so did Omos. And boy, did Braun Strowman look small. I mean, Braun Strowman against most people, he would tower and make them look like infants. But Omos is just another mutation of genetics to be able to be that big and honestly have Braun Strowman look like he has met his match, or as they said, expose Braun Strowman. I like that. I like that too. And having Omos shove Braun Strowman out to the ring, and having Braun, if you listen on the mic, the camera mic, Braun said, finally, I've been looking for someone to challenge me. Okay. I like it. I like this story. Now, if you're somebody that's looking for match quality, looking for 5-star classics that are going to include 450 splashes and moonsaults, you may be severely disappointed. And sorely disappointed. You're not going to get the match that you want. But if we all just take our expectations to a different place and realize it's going to be a slower paced match, it's going to be high flying, it's going to be high impact, that's where you live. But that's okay. I think that's good in a 6 or 7 matches on the card that are all the same kind of style. You have this thrown in there to kind of, reset your palate, so to speak. So I thought this was fine. This is good. By the way, MVP accepted a challenge on Braun Strowman's behalf to challenge Omos to a match at Crown Jewel. So, all right. Let's see here. Backstage, Drew McIntyre revealed that at Crown Jewel that he's going to challenge Karrion Kross, or he did challenge Karrion Kross. They're going to face off in a steel cage match. Because if you guys don't remember, a steel cage match is the best and most effective proven way to keep men in the cage and to keep people out of the cage. I can't even think of one example, not even one, in 25 years of me watching WWE, in which that wasn't the case. So I'm really glad that they're implementing this bulletproof solution to this match where no one can interfere and no one can escape. So that's great. I mean, it's good stuff. Insert sarcasm here. Okay, next match. Women's Tag Team Championship match. Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. Oh, wait, before I move on, apparently Drew was also found responsible for causing the accident, the car accident. So, okay. I mean, that's kind of weird to me, but okay. Anyway, Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi take on Damage Control for the Women's Tag Team Championship. I don't have a problem with this. I think Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi have gelled very nicely together. I like their chemistry. We don't hear a whole lot from Damage Control. Lately, they've been a bit silent. I wish we heard more from them, from Bayley. We just don't. And that's not to say this match wasn't good. In fact, I really enjoyed the tag team match here with the women. They have really nice chemistry. And I think that Dakota Kai and Io Sky, again, outside of being women's tag team champions, you don't know much about them. Okay, they're associated with Bayley, but I want to hear them have their own voice. Like, give me what this match means to you. You're in a championship match, right? So, just A little bit of a tweak. Also, for those that love when I complain and rant about things, you're going to love this. Buckle in. Shotzi's tank, it was the best thing ever when it was destroyed. And now that it's back, it looks so awful. I don't understand the need for it. I think it looks like, Power Wheels. It looks like a toy you'd bring to, a 12-year-old's birthday party. It just looks awful. And especially the fact it was like basically a glorified t-shirt cannon at one point. It shot out like a Nerf dart. And then, now what does it do now? I don't even know what its functionality is, other than having these two grown women look so silly in this tank. I know it's supposed to be different. They're supposed to be differentiating themselves and making themselves stand out in entrance. I think it looks just stupid. So stupid. Walk out like everybody else, okay? All right, let's move on. A good match, though. By the way, Sky and Kai defeated Shotzi and Rodriguez to retain because Bayley, I think she caused a distraction, and therefore, as expected, Dakota Kai and Io Sky retain their championships. Rey Mysterio took on Ludwig Kaiser, which that match emanated when Mysterio walked into the building, and then these two got in a bit of a verbal battle. It was fun. And you know what it made me realize? Just how durable Rey Mysterio is. And just how long his career has been. And to be able to perform at the level he's performed at, with all the bumps he's taken in his life, is really nothing short of amazing. Yes, I'll be the first one to admit I hate his pandering. I think he's one of the most kind of bubblegum, soft, icky baby faces that WWE's ever had. There's no edge to Rey Mysterio. He's sometimes too emotional. He can't ever he doesn't ever really have a mean streak in him. That's one part of it that to me is he's been too soft and squishy as a babyface for me. I've never really connected to his babyface character, but that's me, and I know I'm in the minority, and that's fine. But I think that he is an absolute Hall of Famer. It's not even up for debate. He's been going in WWE for 20 years, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, he took some time off, but for him to do what he's done and then come back and perform at a level that you're like, how is he doing this? He may be a half step slower than he used to be, but for him to do what he's doing is really crazy. And I think that we have to look at Rey Mysterio's in-ring days as numbered, because I could see a scenario in which Dominic versus Rey, when it happens, maybe at WrestleMania, either Dominic quote unquote ends his career by injuring his dad, or Rey puts his career on the line or voluntarily, something. But I could see Dominic ending the career of Rey. My point is, though, we all need to kind of look at Rey and realize that there are very few days left in front of him. I just get that feeling that he's maybe ready to close to hang up the boots here. He's not a young guy. He has his son that he can, pass his legacy to, and he's done everything there really is to do. And maybe he goes longer, but I just got that feeling on SmackDown where I'm like, he's just kind of here every week. He's a legend, but we should really pay attention here and enjoy every match he has, because he's one of those people that all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's ready to hang it up. Oh crap, So, all right, but anyway, this matchup here with Kaiser was good. The fans were behind Rey and booing Kaiser, and having Gunther ringside was also a lot of fun. Giovanni Vinci there as well, which I don't know what exactly he does for me, but he's there too. And it was just fun to see, Rey Mysterio hit the 619, the Eddie chants, which is just amazing. And then having Rey Mysterio beat Kaiser made a lot of sense, given that he has an Intercontinental Championship match coming up. You can't have him lose here. So, but again, the Eddie chants just don't stop. It's absolutely insane. It's been 2005 it happened, so we're going on 17 years since Eddie Guerrero passed away. It's just crazy. It's just it's crazy. So I mean, the fact that these chants just don't stop is a testament to the connection that Eddie had with the fans. I mean, what other person that's deceased? What other deceased wrestler are we cheering for that is gone? Who? Very, very few. Maybe none, other than Eddie Guerrero. It's simply amazing. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Raw. I think that pretty much covered SmackDown. So, what happened on Monday Night Raw? Or rather, let me remind you, one of the biggest things is the rise of Ali, Mustafa Ali, who attacked Seth and went face-to-face with the new United States champion. And it was kind of the coming out party, so to speak, for Ali. And it wasn't an exciting Raw, but everyone doesn't need to be star-studded and jaw-dropping. This one was just a message to fans of, hey, you want new stars? You want us to elevate existing guys? Here's one that we believe in as well. And Ali is one. As a reminder, some of the matches were from Monday. As you're listening to this, it's probably a new Monday Night Raw, but here we go from the last Raw, where we had Riddle versus Seth for the United States Championship. Seth obviously retained here. Bobby Lashley brutalized Brock Lesnar to start the show, and then we didn't get any damn explanation. That's been one thing that I know some of you don't care about and don't, for some reason, just are void of the need to have any kind of story in this. You just don't care. You like senseless, meaningless, storyless beatings between two men. I don't understand it. If we don't get any kind of explanation on Raw from Brock, especially why he initiated this, I might be completely checked out of this, and I hate to say that. But if they can't come up with just something, you don't bring Brock Lesnar back, a multi-million-dollar asset, and bring him back to the company when no one expected him to come back until WrestleMania season, or at least Rumble. You bring him back and then attack Lashley, a matchup that many of us have wanted for a long time, and have it done right, and you don't give us anything yet. It's 2 weeks in. To me, it's two strikes. So give us something. The OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson take out Alpha Academy after hitting Chad Gable with a magic killer. The Judgment Day challenged the OC to a match at Crown Jewel, and AJ Styles accepted for his team before asking for the match to happen later in the night. And that would be AJ versus Dominic, but we'll get to that. Dakota Kai and Io Sky take out Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae with a tandem wheelbarrow suplex on LeRae. So LeRae took the fall here, protecting Belair. Baron Corbin takes out Dolph Ziggler after hitting End of Days, but don't forget JBL introduced Baron Corbin as the newest member of Raw, and we'll see if the JBL thing is a week-to-week or it was just a one-off to get Baron Corbin going. It's not like Corbin's bad on the mic, that's the thing. So this is an interesting matchup that we'll see if it's every week JBL's there or not. Dominic Mysterio did take on AJ Styles, and he beat AJ Styles with a roll-up because of Rhea Ripley, who interfered by grabbing Styles' boot, which allowed Dominic to get the pin, the beloved roll-up. So Dominic continues to get that heat that just continues to build. It's magnificent. And then The Miz attacked Dexter Lumis before the match, so he didn't have to have a match. But how can you have a match without having a contract? Yeah, we can't think too hard on that one. All right. So I think that pretty much covers Monday Night Raw. I want to address one rumor going around about CM Punk returning to WWE. And, I don't know any more than you guys do. But if CM Punk, who all intents and purposes seems to be done with AEW, and AEW seems to be done with him, and they should be, I honestly would not want to hire CM Punk based on his actions. Based on the way that he acted in that press conference, the way he's just acted overall as kind of this pompous, grizzled vet that doesn't have to deal with the BS, and he's eating like an animal at the press conference, being super disrespectful. I would tell him to hit the effing curb. I would. But what if bridges are mended, fences are mended here between WWE and Punk, and he's available? Do you dare bring him into WWE? Do you dare induct him in the Hall of Fame? What do you do here? I mean, I really don't know. it would be a massive get for WWE, but boy, I hope they're ready to put up with a pompous CM Punk that has no business acting the way he does. And the thing is, he says he's not like that. He says he's not, a guy with an ego, but then he shows that he is. Like, his actions don't match his words at all. And he does it in a way that he could plausibly say that he's not egotistical, but he has this kind of aura about him that you just, I don't know. I'm not impressed with CM Punk, especially the charade he pulled at the press conference. So, but I don't know. There is an argument, a strong argument to be made of bringing Punk back. The ratings pop, the reaction, a potential matchup here and there, maybe one or two matches before he really leaves. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I mean, especially given that Punk hates Triple H. Doesn't get along with him. They never have. It's just an interesting discussion to have. I don't know. Maybe we can talk about it in the mailbag this week. So, all right, that does it for me tonight, guys. I hope you enjoy Monday Night Raw. I'll be back with Anthony DeMarco with our current state of WWE. And then Tuesday's a Raw review. And yeah, you guys know the rest is history. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Take care. Have a great week. And I'll talk to you next time.
So I know we don't really talk a whole lot about movies on here unless I come across one that I really want to share. And I have one for you. It's called Rescue. And the synopsis of this movie is that after the accidental death of Jake's oldest daughter and wife, Jake's only daughter, Leah, has been abducted by human traffickers and is being sold to the cartel. Jake's experience in martial arts sets out with little clues in hand and a collie stick in the other. If you want to check out the trailer, you can do that at rescue.movie. That's rescue.movie. It's also the winner of the Best Feature Film at the Global Film Festival Awards in LA that took place this year in 2022. And it has a 9 out of 10 rating on IMDb. You can check out their Facebook fan page or again at rescue.movie for trailers and where you can actually watch the movie. Just do yourself a favor and see why this movie, Rescue, won the Best Feature Film Award. Head to rescue.movie today.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.